The truth is out there, hidden in the shadows of government bunkers and classified files. Welcome to the Stuffology Show, where we plunge into the strange, the eerie, and the downright mysterious. Today, we're diving headfirst into the labyrinth of UFO reverse engineering, what the U.S. government might be concealing about alien technology. This is a tale woven from decades of whispers, leaks, and unanswered questions. So, grab your tinfoil hat because we're going deep into the unknown. It all begins in 1947 in the sun-scorched fields of Roswell, New Mexico. A rancher, Mac Brazel, stumbles across debris that doesn't look right, shiny, metallic, and possibly light. He alerts the authorities, and the military descends with unsettling speed. Their story? It's a weather balloon, nothing more. But the locals talk of something else: strange materials, peculiar figures, and a cordon of soldiers sealing off the site. The official report is neat, almost too neat. By the 1950s, Roswell is no longer just a local oddity. It's the cornerstone of a growing suspicion. People start to wonder, what if the government didn't just recover scraps, but an entire spacecraft? What if they've been trying to unlock its secrets ever since? Reverse engineering, taking apart alien tech to understand its mechanics, becomes the heart of the conspiracy. If you found a machine that could defy gravity, move faster than anything human-made, or vanish in a blink, you'd want to know how it works. The U.S., neck deep in the Cold War's paranoia, would see an alien craft as a game changer, a way to outmaneuver the Soviets, to dominate the skies and beyond. Where would they hide such a prize? The rumors point to Area 51, a barren patch of Nevada desert, so remote it's practically a myth. Barely acknowledged until the 1990s, it's the perfect place for secrets, guarded, isolated, and cloaked in silence. Then comes Bob Lazar, a name that echoes through UFO lore. In 1989, he claims he worked at a site called S4 near Area 51, studying propulsion systems from non-human craft. He describes disks powered by element 115, a substance that laughs in the face of known physics. The government says he's a nobody, his credentials fabricated. But his story is detailed, technical, and oddly consistent. Why does it stick in our minds? The trail deepens in the 1970s, when the Freedom of Information Act prize opened a crack in the government's armor. UFO researchers dig up Project Blue Book, an Air Force program that investigated thousands of sightings from 1947 to 1969. The official conclusion? No evidence of extraterrestrial activity. But the program shuts down just as public interest surges, raising questions. Then there's the Majestic 12, a supposed secret group of scientists, military brass, and officials tasked with handling UFO crashes. Leaked documents from the 1980s outline their work: retrievals, analysis, reverse engineering. The FBI calls them forgeries, but the papers are meticulous, naming real people, real dates, real projects. If it's a hoax, it's a masterpiece. The deeper you go, the harder it is to tell truth from shadow. The story doesn't stop there. By the 1980s and 90s, UFOs are everywhere. Books, documentaries, and shows like The X-Files tap into a cultural obsession. But the real earthquake hits in 2017, when the New York Times publishes a stunning expose. They reveal the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or ADIP, a Pentagon initiative running from 2007 to 2012. Its mission? To study unidentified aerial phenomena. UAPs, the government's new term for UFOs, stripped of the sci-fi baggage. The article includes declassified videos of objects moving in ways that defy explanation. No visible engines, no wings, just raw speed and impossible agility. Navy pilots, hardened professionals, describe encounters that leave them speechless. ADIP's budget was small, about $22 million, but its scope was vast. Luis Elizondo, the program's leader, later says they weren't just chasing lights in the sky. They were studying materials fragments from alleged crashes with properties that don't match anything on Earth. This is where the mystery thickens. Elizondo and others, like Christopher Mellon, a former Defense Department official, talk about metamaterials, substances with structures that don't fit our understanding of chemistry. Alloys that are too light, too strong, or react to energy in bizarre ways. These could be remnants of alien technology, they claim, proof of something beyond our world. The 2017 Times piece doesn't shout, aliens, but it nudges the door open. Then, in 2023, David Grush, a former intelligence officer, steps into the spotlight. His congressional testimony is explosive. He claims the U.S. has been running a decades-long program to recover and reverse engineer UAPs. Not just debris, but entire craft and non-human biologics. That's right, bodies. Grush says this is hidden in black budget programs, beyond the reach of Congress or the public. The Pentagon denies it, calls it baseless. But Grush's credentials are rock solid. Why would he risk his career for this? What kind of technology are we talking about? If these claims are true, what's inside those craft? Bob Lazar's stories from the 80s describe anti-gravity systems, powered by element 115, a substance not synthesized on Earth until 2003, and even then, it was fleetingly unstable. Others mention zero-point energy, a theoretical way to tap the quantum vacuum for limitless power. If real, this could explain the physics-defying behavior of UAPs: silent movement, instantaneous acceleration, no regard for gravity or inertia. The implications are mind-bending. Energy to power entire cities, ships that could cross galaxies, or weapons that could redefine warfare. If the government has this, they're not just guarding a secret, they're guarding a new era. Why the silence? One explanation is power. If you've got technology that could dominate the globe, you don't share it. You study it, weaponize it, keep your rivals in the dark. Another is fear. Announcing we've got alien craft or remains could unravel society. Religions might falter, economies could collapse, panic could spread. Or maybe it's simpler, they don't understand it. Decades of reverse engineering, and they're still stumped. Imagine the world's best scientists staring at a machine so advanced it's like handing a quantum computer to a medieval monk. That's not just a secret. It's a humbling admission of our limits. But there's another side. Skeptics argue this is all a house of cards. The 2017 Times expose is intriguing, but it doesn't prove aliens. Those UAP videos could be advanced drones, foreign tech, or even optical illusions. Grush's testimony is dramatic, but where's the evidence? Photos, schematics, anything tangible? The Pentagon's response is consistent. No aliens, no crash saucers, just classified projects and overactive imaginations. Area 51. It's a testing ground for planes like the U-2, the State Route 71, or stealth bombers. Project Blue Book? A public relations effort to quell UFO hysteria. The skeptics say we're hardwired to see conspiracies, to spin tales from scraps. Maybe we're so desperate for cosmic answers we're inventing them ourselves. Yet the questions persist. Why do credible people, pilots, scientists, intelligence officers, keep coming forward? Why do declassified files, like ADIP's reports, hint at more than they reveal? In 2021, the Pentagon's UAP Task Force report admits 144 cases can't be explained. They don't say aliens, but they don't say not aliens either. That ambiguity is a spark in a powder keg. On X, posts from 2023 and 2024 are alive with speculation about Grush, about programs like Immaculate Constellation, a rumored UAP retrieval operation. No hard proof, but the chatter doesn't stop. The government's half-answers and denials only pour fuel on the fire. Let's dig deeper into the tech. If reverse engineering is happening, what's the payoff? Some say the U.S. has already reaped benefits. Stealth technology, those angular radar-evading planes of the 1980s, Feels like a leap too far, too fast. Could it owe something to alien designs? Fiber optics, laser systems, even microchips. Some claim these surged after the 1940s as if guided by an outside hand. In 1996, a retired colonel named Philip Corso published the day after Roswell, claiming he funneled alien tech into American industry. Night vision, Kevlar, integrated circuits, all, he says, were seeded from Roswell's wreckage. Scientists dismiss it, but the timeline is curious. Why did certain technologies explode so quickly post-World War II? Random innovation, or something more? The conspiracy stretches beyond borders. There's talk of other nations, Russia, China, maybe even allies, chasing their own recovered craft. If true, it's a global shadow race, with stakes higher than any nuclear standoff. And what about the beings? Grush's non-human biologics echo older stories. Roswell locals describe small, gray figures with oversized heads, no hair, no noses. In the 1990s, a supposed alien autopsy film surfaced, grainy, questionable, but eerily detailed. It showed a creature with no digestive tract, no clear gender. A hoax, most likely, but the consistency across decades is chilling. If there are bodies, what are they? Pilots, drones, or something we can't even classify? The secrecy itself is a puzzle piece. Black budget programs, funded by billions off the books, are real. Look at the Manhattan Project or the NSA surveillance programs exposed by Edward Snowden. If UFO reverse engineering exists, it's likely buried in a similar maze, so compartmentalized even presidents might be out of the loop. Whistleblowers like Grush claim these programs dodge oversight, operating beyond Congress's reach. That's not just a conspiracy, it's a crisis of democracy. If unelected officials are hoarding world-changing knowledge, what does that mean for the rest of us? But let's rewind to the 1950s, when the seeds of distrust were sown. The Roswell cover-up, if it was one, set a precedent. The military's quick dismissal, weather balloon, move along, clashed with eyewitness accounts of something stranger. By the 1960s, UFO sightings were flooding in, not just from farmers, but from pilots, police officers, even astronomers. The Air Force's Project Blue Book tried to catalog them, but its conclusions felt like a brush-off. Cases like the 1961 Betty and Barney Hill abduction, where a couple claimed to be taken aboard a craft, added fuel. Their story, backed by hypnosis sessions and detailed star maps, defied easy explanation. Were they lying, delusional, or onto something? The government's silence didn't help. Fast forward to the 2000s, and the whispers grow louder. ADIP's work, revealed in 2017, wasn't a one-off. It built on earlier programs, like Project Sign and Project Grudge, which studied UFOs in the 1940s and 50s. Why so many programs, if there's nothing to find? And why the secrecy around ADIP? Elizondo says it was funded through back channels, hidden even from Pentagon insiders. When the Times broke the story, it wasn't just about videos. It was about a government admitting, however quietly, that something unexplained was happening. Those UAP clips, like the Tic Tac video from 2004, show objects moving at speeds and angles no human craft could match. The Navy confirmed their authenticity, but offered no answers. That's not closure, that's a taunt. The Grush testimony in 2023 takes it further. He names programs, alleges crashes dating back to the 1930s, and claims the U.S. has a fleet of recovered craft. He can't show proof, classified, he says, but his calm delivery and insider knowledge make dismissal tricky. On X, users dissect his words, linking them to older leaks like the Wilson Memo, a supposed 2002 document describing a meeting where UFO programs were discussed. The memo's authenticity is debated, but its details align with Grush's claims. Coincidence or a pattern? What's the legacy of this saga? If the government is hiding alien tech, it's a betrayal of trust on a cosmic scale. The public deserves to know if we're not alone, or if we're sitting on technology that could solve energy crises or reach the stars. The 2017 New York Times article changed everything, pulling UFOs from tabloids to congressional hearings. It led to task forces, reports, and a push for transparency. Grush's testimony in 2023 doubled down, suggesting a cover-up so vast it's almost untouchable. Even if it's all false, the cultural impact is undeniable. UFOs shape how we see ourselves, our planet, our place in the universe. They inspire art, fuel debates, and keep us staring at the sky. But there's a cautionary tale here, too. This conspiracy shows how secrecy breeds distrust. A few blurry videos, some cryptic leaks, and decades of silence can spark a mythology that's hard to shake. If there's no cover-up, the government's opacity is still a problem. It erodes faith in institutions. If there is a cover-up, the stakes are beyond comprehension. Either way, the UFO reverse engineering story challenges us to question authority, demand evidence, and keep searching for truth. Where does this leave us? The 2017 expose, the whistleblowers, the declassified reports, they're fragments of a puzzle we can't solve. Maybe there's a hangar in Area 51, filled with machines that hum with otherworldly energy. Maybe it's just a tangle of lies and bureaucracy. But the mystery pulls us in like a signal from deep space. On the Stuffology show, we chase the unknown, the hidden, the truth just out of reach. Keep your eyes on the stars and your mind wide open. Something's out there, waiting.